Whether you're a total beginner to animation or more experienced, the bouncing ball is an exercise everyone should try at some point. This was one of the first animations I made when studying at university, so first I'll show you how to animate your own, and then how you can spice it up to make something like this. You can download my animation tests through the link in the description. I'll be using TVPaint for this video, but you can use any animation software you like to follow along. My frame rate is set to 24, and this number determines how many drawings are shown per second of animation. If you've ever heard anyone refer to animating on 1s, 2s or 3s, this just means each drawing will hold for 1, 2 or 3 frames. I'll be using 2s for this loop, but when I'm working on more detailed animations, I'll use a mix to get the look I want. Now to make things easier, I've drawn 2 lines as a guide. The horizontal line is to show where the floor is, while the vertical shows the path the ball will take. I'll then lower the opacity of this layer so they won't be too distracting while I'm animating. I want the ball to fall, hit the floor and bounce back up to complete the loop. On a new layer, at frame 1, I'll draw a circle at the top of the guide. If I continue to make new frames and draw the ball in the path I want without thinking about timing and spacing of the drawings, when I play the animation through, it will feel wrong. And looking at the frames like this, you can see it's because the timing and spacing are inconsistent, which makes the animation feel shaky and not smooth at all. Drawings that are closer together appear to move slowly. Drawings that are further apart appear to move faster. Drawings that are equal distances from each other appear to move at a consistent speed. Using a mixture of these can make the movement look more natural. As an example, if my animation starts slow, picks up speed, and then ends slowly, the movement looks much more appealing. And in animation, the slow start and end is referred to as easing, as in you ease in or ease out of a movement. So animating a ball bounce like this, we have to consider how we want the ball to move, and how forces like gravity will affect it. For this exercise, I imagine the ball is being held and is then let go. So it will start slow with the first few frames being placed closer together. Then, as the ball falls and picks up speed, the drawings are spaced further apart. I'll add a little squash and stretch to the ball on the frame before it hits the guide, on the impact frame, and then the one after where it bounces back up. Keeping the volume of the ball the same throughout the animation will make it look more consistent. So if it's stretched out like this, then reduce the width. If it's squashed like this, then increase the width. If you're really struggling to keep your drawings consistent, you can draw one ball and then copy the frames, changing the position of each with a move or transform tool. Now as the ball bounces back up to complete the loop, the drawings will get closer together again, slowing as it reaches the peak. This looks much better. Here are a few variations of this bounce with slight differences in timing and spacing, and squash and stretch to get different effects. If this was not a loop, with each bounce the ball would lose energy, and the height of each bounce would lessen until it came to a stop. Now to make this a little more interesting, I'm going to use the same process to make a new bounce, changing the vertical guide into an arc, as I want the ball to bounce from one side to the other and back. At the top of this arc, the ball will be much slower, so the frames are spaced closer together like this. Making a new layer, I'm going to add a grid to the ball's surface, and this will be my guide for adding details. Thinking of the ball as a 3D object, I can also use the guide to give the impression that the ball is spinning, or changing direction as it bounces from one point to another. As I only want the features to appear at the peak of the bounce when the ball slows, I'll be focusing on these frames. Adding things like hair to the ball is easier if it's broken down into sections, so I'd recommend focusing on animating one area at a time and getting the movement right before adding more. If I like, I can copy and paste my frames to create a longer loop and animate different guidelines and features on the ball with each bounce. To finish the loop, I'll lower the opacity of my animation, turn off the guides, and make new layers above each part, ready to line and then colour it. If you want to add any highlights or shadows, these can be done on separate layers too. You can finish your animation in any way you like to test out different styles and brushes. As always, I hope this video helped and you had fun with it. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I'll be back with another one real soon. Bye!